I love the fact that he's a functional psychopath, which is what most of us are in reality. Speaking of functional psychopaths, Rob, what do you think about the episode 2?
It's because I work at the post office, isn't it?
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 23rd episode of the Multiverse Unlimited podcast. We want to take the time to thank you all for tuning in to us, whether this is your first time listening or if you're a long-time listener. Please remember to share our show and like, subscribe, and follow us on your podcatcher of choice. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Podbean. We also have an email address for you to get in contact with us with questions that you would like to have answered on the show. Our email is multiverseunlimitedpodcast@gmail.com. If you're interested in joining our Facebook group, the group name is Multiverse Unlimited. There is a password to get into the group if you're finding us through the show. The password is anti-life. With that out of the way, I would like to introduce the panel. We don't have the full force of Voltron with us this evening, but we have a full enough house to provide an entertaining show for you. So up first, we have QP. How are you, Quincy?
I'm fine, Tash. I'm really energized by that intro there.
Thank you. I tried. And next up, we have that one guy, Rob. How's it going, Rob?
How's it going, everybody?
Next up, we have Mike. How are you, comic book Mike?
Fine, man. What up, everybody out there?
And last but not least, we have Cosmic Lou. How are you?
I am, like always, living the dream, Tasha. I love it. I mean, I'm not taking a page out the Q's book. I actually love it. That was amazing. I like it.
I like the cutest intro ever.
I can dig it. I can dig it 100%.
Sound like Smurfette giving it.
And thank you for doing that, man. Like Tasha said, welcome everyone, first-time listeners, long-time listeners. Welcome, guys. Wow, she encompassed everything. That was, Tasha's usually really quiet. She's usually on the very end of the show. Now she's at the very beginning of the show. And I can absolutely dig it. So welcome, everyone. 23rd, 23, MJ. That's it. I'm 46 years old. MJ's a man. He's a GOAT. Always will be. Always will be. I'm not going to get
like you're talking to me too. I'm like, what I do?
It's been a slow week in news, which is good because the last 10 days have been an absolute, forgive my French, shitstorm. But we'll take it. So we're just going to jump right into this. And Moon Knight, episode 2 dropped. And Mike, I know you were kind of leery. You're like, if episode 1, if we have more of episode 1, I'm out. What do you think about episode 2?
It was better. It was definitely better. Was it great? Hell no. But it was better. It was good enough to come back the next week. I had questions about Moon Knight, the suit. I don't know much about his comic history, but you would see him in a suit, and you'd see him in the hooded cape and everything. So I didn't know how that worked. So it's kind of good to learn. Just kind of, I guess, based on personalities. That's kind of what I took about it. This had more action in it for me.
Yeah,
I was definitely interested in it. I was kind of like it. Ethan Hawke was kind of weird to me. Like he would use one.
Kinda.
Well, it was very weird, but he would have one tone, and then the same sentence he'd have a whole nother rough. It's like he forgot he was in character. I didn't know if that was on purpose.
He's a psychopath.
The same sentence. It was weird.
It's like DMX.
He kind of was. He was rough and gruff, and then hi, how you doing? And then back to rough and gruff. Ignore Khonshu, but it was still pretty good. I can say it was better than last week, so I'll come back for next week for sure.
All right. Q, what do you got, man? What'd you think of it?
It was okay. it held my attention, but I just need to see where this is going. Like I don't know. Like maybe it's because I don't know much about the character. I never had interest in the character except when he was in the Spider-Man comic. So um, I just want to see if the story all makes sense by the time it's all over. Like I'll be there next week.
Oh, I agree. I know very little about Moon Knight. I've done my Google searches and shit like that. I love the aesthetic of Moon Knight. I love the fact that he's a functional psychopath, which is what most of us are in reality. Speaking of functional psychopaths, Rob, what do you think about the episode 2?
It's because I work at the post office, isn't it? I'm basically on the same page as Q and Mike. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I like seeing his other personality, getting kind of roped into Khonshu's BS and giving him a suit. That was fun to see. But at the same time, I'm sitting here waiting, like, what are the stakes? Like, what is really the point of this show? Like, is there just some small thing? Is like, I forget what I was watching, but they were talking about, oh, maybe lasers are going to come out of the pyramid or something like that, But like, what is really the point of this show? Is where I'm at right now. I'm still going to watch it. I like what I'm seeing. I just don't know where. It's hard to see where it's going.
Yeah, it's like, how do you become the avatar of Khonshu? Is it on Career Builder or LinkedIn? Do you find this job on LinkedIn somewhere? It was weird to me. But Tasha, did you watch it? What do you think?
I watched both. I'm liking it. I feel like because I don't know anything about the character, not even from comic book tie-ins, it's just me seeing this guy who basically has multiple personality disorder, if it's a disorder, and pretty much struggling with the fact that he doesn't even know he had this other half. I honestly have a lot of questions. Like, when did this Steven persona come to be? What was his earliest memory? Because it seems like Mark was more the main person for that body.
The dominant person.
Yeah. And it seems like Steven just came out of nowhere. Khonshu is scary. When the scene with the storage unit and all of the flashing lights, spooky for me. I'm just like, oh man, I would be running so fast to get up out of there.
I thought he had a neck until they tightened up the shot and you saw it was nothing there.
Right, this is floating skull. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's what spooked me. I was like, he ain't got no neck.
I do love how Khonshu looks. I love the look of Khonshu.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the things I kind of need them to explain at this point is the point of the scarab. Ethan Hawke's character really wants the scarab. We don't know what exactly it does, but apparently it's supposed to change the world. I guess it's a key to something to unlock a weapon.
Didn't they say it was like a compass that's pointing towards the alligator?
That's right.
Alligator god's treasure or something like that.
To her grave, to her tomb.
You're right.
It's supposed to resurrect her.
Oh, her tomb. That's right.
Yeah, it's supposed to resurrect her as the person, and like she's supposed to be like the precogs from what was that movie with
Minority Report?
That
one. Punish the people before they do something bad. It's like, all right.
It sounds like Psychopaths, the anime too.
That is true.
Okay, so I guess I forgot that bit. To me, the hilarious part of the episode was him fighting the jackal, the dog beast. And so we saw it from this perspective of normal humans. So there's just stunt work of going, and flying around. It was just, that part was really funny for me.
He's a really fancy, he's a fancy drunk there, love. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
I will definitely keep watching for sure, but how many episodes is this getting? 6 or 9?
6.
Yeah, I'm gonna need them to kind of speed up the whole dual personalities of Steven and Mark. Kind of iron that out for me.
You could have started to just speed up. I need him to speed up. Speed the
if
whole
you look
damn
at
thing
it,
up.
if you look at it, it has like a 50. This one had like a 54-minute runtime. It had 5 minutes, 5 or somewhere between 5 and 7 minutes of credits, and then the intro and the recap was another 3. So you're looking at basically a 45-minute episode of full meat of the episode. 6 episodes, you're looking at basically a movie. You know what I mean? I like the way I like the pace. It's not giving out too much. This was a lot more action. The first episode was very cerebral. He never called his mom a single time this episode. Not a one. But I think that's because Mark was in control of this whole episode, and I dug it. His wife was really cool. She could handle her own. I thought that all the henchmen from Ethan Hawke's camp, they can't fight because they all suck at it. But the fight scene with the suit, when he summoned the suit, I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. All of a sudden, he lands in the hero stance and it just tips over, which I thought was hilarious. It was a bit of great placed humor. I like the episode. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's not moving too slow. It's really building up. I think once we get to 3, maybe 3.5, and then it's just gonna it's gonna take off after that. Well, I think it's gonna be amazing.
The word is that the 4th episode is supposed to be the one that's supposed to have everyone reeling and excited when it happens. It's that last episode. I don't know where the time went. I just felt like nothing happened really, like besides the rooftop chase. And
that rooftop chase was tight though. I didn't like the fact that he got the suit. He said, "Mark, take over," and Mark took over, and then he pulled the 2 moon daggers out of his chest and did nothing with them. I was like,
"Yeah, pose. Yeah, that's about right."
Yeah, I was like, "What do you get?" Then I'm just gonna run up this building. That was great. Great scene. I mean, I thought it was superbly done, but it was kind of a meh moment.
The man moment for me was when he was in the Mr. Knight and he was like had the suit, but it was his personality. I was wondering what I was watching at one point. Like I just didn't. I don't know. Yeah, like I like the way it looks. Like I hope by the time it's over, I'll be thinking differently, but I like the first episode better than this one, surprisingly.
There was more explanation of how the personalities clash and how it takes all of Mark's constitution to communicate with him or to keep himself, quote unquote, sane inside of the mirror dimension. So whenever Steven's personality is in control, Mark is doing everything he can to hold it together. And then when Steven's in there, he's just like, "How do you do this all the time?" He's like, "Well, you get used to it." So, wow, this is some really cool stuff because Mark is a strong dude, and he comes out and he's just blasting people. Who has a wife, and Steven's like completely opposite. He's like totally weak. He's like. I'm trying to think of an anime that's comparable because you have this certain thing is just. Has happened before in many a story. You have the weak personality versus the very strong personality. It's kind of like,
it's Hulk and Banner, honestly, or Thor and Donald Blake, or what any one of these divided personalities. I get it. It's just I need. Maybe I'm just don't.
We've gotten spoiled. We've gotten spoiled with certain things because we want action all the time. But I think this is a cerebral show. It's a bridge show because once this kind of peaks off, if we have 6 episodes of this, we have 4 more weeks of it. When it ends, what's coming out.
Well, again, for me, I'm not the action dude. I need the story to make sense. That's if you hear whenever we talk about a movie, the story's got to make sense to me.
This is a slow burn. It's comparable, it's playing with your brain kind of like WandaVision did. You know what I mean? It's building up to something. We're going to have 4 episodes. Actually, we're going to have 3 episodes of story build. And if episode 4 blows our minds off, we still have 2 more episodes after that to settle in and accept all the action and plot and all the holes being filled in. And then when this goes off, like I was saying, the Multiverse of Madness comes out. And so that's what I think it's going to lead up to. I actually thought about buying my tickets today.
They are on sale.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to make a date night for that one. But overall, I dug Moon Knight. Anybody got any more else? I know Rob's over there.
There was one part in there where he was speaking Mandarin in his camp to one of the other people, because they all are to be cultured and learn 3 languages, stuff like that. I have a friend who speaks Mandarin, and she said she had no idea what he was saying. I thought that was funny.
That's great. That's one of the best things I've heard all week.
I found that to be very hilarious, because she's watching and says, I speak Cantonese mostly, but I know enough Mandarin to get into a conversation. I'm listening to him, and I have no idea what he's saying.
Maybe they're playing off the fact that his British accent is also absolute garbage. It could be a running joke. Maybe I get down with that.
Ethan Hawke just needs to work on his dialect, I guess.
He needs to get the glass out of his shoes. Is what he's got to do.
I don't like his haircut in this. It's too long.
It's Nirvana. That's what he reminds me of. Is Kurt Cobain with that haircut, minus the hole in the back of his head. Sorry, Kurt, that was not.
It's front of his head.
Yeah, well,
Pretty sure the back was open too.
I stand corrected.
I remember when that happened. Wow.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we're seasoned vets, man. All right, moving forward. Halo episode, was this 3? This was 3.
That's 3, yeah.
I dug it. I liked it. The more I get into this show, the more I appreciate it for the sci-fi show that it is. Even though it's based on a video game, this show reminds me a lot of The Expanse when it comes to visuals and dialogue and the story building. It reminds me a lot of The Expanse. And having played, like I said, 20 minutes of Halo my whole life, going into this dry, I'm digging it completely. I think, what was her name? Harlow? The doctor?
Oh, geez. Now I can't remember what her name is, but yeah.
But I don't like her.
Not a very nice woman.
No, she's a manipulator. I called her a very unnice word in a chat with Rob and Tim Carter. Shout out to you, because you are my
Dr. Halsey.
Halsey. Yeah, Dr. Halsey. She's not a very nice woman. But the show is pretty great. It's the platform shoes to make Master Chief look like he's 7 feet tall. It's working wonders. Bokeem Woodbine with his absolutely insane chest armor that shoots all the way out here. It's like a cup holder type of joint. Overall, great show. Who else has watched it? Anybody else? I know Rob did. Rob, what do you think, man? I mean, you've played Halo before.
Yeah, I like I said before, I played the first 3 games. I had to actually, because there was a scene in this episode where we have a lot of like worm stuff going on, so I had to actually text Tim, who's our resident expert, about it, because I don't remember ever seeing that in the game, even when you killed the character that they're supposed to be from. But this is a prequel, so a lot of things evolve into the games that there are now. But I'm liking it. Yeah, that Dr. Halsey, she is completely heartless. The way that she just killed her own clone after reassuring it that it would be fine. Yeah, in like the most brutal way ever, getting your brain sucked out through your eye. All right.
Oh God,
that's fun.
Exactly.
While they're awake.
Yeah, that was gruesome, Mike. That was terrible.
That was pretty gruesome.
She was terrible. Wow.
TLDR. She woke her clone up out of stasis, right? Sat her down at the table, had a conversation with her for like 15 minutes and reassured her that everything was okay. The clone said, well, the only reason why I'm here is because of my organs. And the doctor was like, you know what? Not really. And they kept talking. She's like, well, it's obvious that you want me for my brain. And the doctor was like,
but they told her it would be a brainless digital transfer and not a needle through the face.
And then they stuck a needle through her eyeball and sucked out her brain through a needle and then dropped her back into the regen tank to rebuild everything.
Oh, no.
Was it regen? Or
she was dissolved in acid.
That was, okay. I
Because
couldn't tell which
I
one
was
it
thinking
was.
to myself, that creepy ass other doctor, I said, you know what he's going to do with that body as soon as somebody walks out of that
See,
room, because he was
that's
all over that.
Yeah, I thought
Because
he
he
was
was
going to be
creeping on her
like,
hardcore.
that was, you have such a beautiful brain. She's like, oh, thank you.
Mm.
You like my bald head too? I was like, this is creepy. I really thought he was going to get into some weird shit, but then he dropped into, I thought it was the regen tank, but now that you say it was acid, it makes perfect sense.
The only reason
like
I knew that
Alka-Seltzer.
was because I had subtitles on and it said acid bubbling when she was dropped into it. Yeah, she was dissolved.
That was crazy. And then she took the brain. The brain ended up in like this little, like the size of a quarter type of joint. And then they just shoved it in the Master Chief's brain.
And
now
that's how we get Cortana.
Yeah.
The original.
And what made me laugh is when he was in that little booth doing research, and then she's talking to him, and she's like, well, I'm wired into your auditory nerves. And he's having this whole conversation in a room by his fucking self. Could you imagine walking in and seeing some dude talking to himself for 20 minutes? No, actually, I've done it. I've been that guy. And it's like, it's not fun either way.
And it makes sense that she goes rogue and later in the series, because in this one, they're basically treating her like Clippy. Like she's trying to offer help and they're just dismissing her at every freaking turn.
Yep. Master Chief is a boss. He stuck a daggone knife in his back and popped out a chip. Yeah. A chip. Mike's like, ugh. It was a chip about the size of a grape that suppresses emotions in the spine. He stuck a knife in his back and popped it out.
And it makes sense to have Master Chief not have his helmet on during all these scenes too, because there's a lot of reaction and facial stuff going on, especially when he's touching the artifact. There's a lot of wide-eyed, and he has a lot of range going on there. And him just standing around in his helmet, it would be completely uncompelling to watch that.
No, it'd be as compelling as Fett or Mando going through some shit. But I love it so far. I love this show.
Yeah, I like how you compared it to The Expanse, and I'm always thinking about it. It's kind of like it's kind of like Firefly, but from the other perspective. Normally, you're the rebels and you're on the crappy planets, and this is on the other side where you're the oppressors, and then they're the ones who are attacking the rebels. So you're like on the opposite end. You're with the higher, the rich, the military side of it, instead of being down on the ground with the brown coats.
Yeah, he's being set up. That's the one part I don't like. And his team is tight, but that one girl is just too damn nosy. She's following him around all the time. Check out the show, man. If you haven't checked it out, T, shout out to you, man. Get better. He said that they're a week behind on YouTube. They drop on YouTube every other week. So episode 2 is now on YouTube as of today. And then episode 3 will be out this time next week. Yeah. So go ahead and check it out if you haven't. It's good stuff. If you haven't played Halo, if you have played Halo, you're going to get a little bit upset because of the human inside of the Covenant type of joint. But it's a good story twist. I like it, except for the earthworms that eat everybody. That's kind of weird. That was kind of weird. So, all right, Tasha, this is one of my favorite parts. Young Justice.
Woohoo!
How we looking?
Yes. So, if the trend is going the way that the first half of the season did, we just concluded the arc with Calder, believe it or not. Each arc has been 4 episodes, and since we got the first 3 last week, this was the 4th. As of right now, I don't know what the next arc is supposed to focus on. I haven't seen any news on it. But hopefully it would be something with Rocket. Yes, Rocket. If we've noticed how the intro goes, we've seen almost every character that is in the intro but Rocket. So I'm curious to see if there's something going on with her this season and we just haven't gotten to it yet. So yesterday's episode was titled Leviathan Wakes. So that goes to Quincy's correct guess that the secret message so far says invitation to kneel. I have no idea what we could be kneeling to. I haven't figured out what the overarching premise of this season is to even make a guess. Quincy, do you have any guesses?
I'll know by what the title of next week. It should be E next week, so we'll see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no idea. So for I really don't know. I'm stumped. I don't know who we could possibly kneel to aside from one of the villains, like the Light or specifically Vandal Savage. I really don't know.
Let me ask you. I don't mean to interrupt. What happened to Darkseid again in the last season? Where is he?
I don't remember.
Pretty sure he's just on Apocalypse. I don't think they've done anything with him other than talking to some of the smaller villains he's been kind of filtering out into the world.
Yeah, I think that's going to change the next couple of weeks.
So this episode we see what is his name?
Oh.
Arion? Is that what they've been calling him?
Yeah.
The original founder of Atlantis? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he has been, his name has been chanted throughout all of Atlantis for a few weeks now. And all of the different, I can't say rulers, but leaders of each section of the ocean are coming together. It's like, we got to do something about this. There's going to be a riot, an uprising, something. And because of the prophecy that has been read by, oh God, I'm blanking on names. I'm sorry. Mira?
The Queen?
Mira the redhead?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
She read the prophecy about the One True King coming. He fits the bill. He decided to take on the responsibility of being the head king of Atlantis. Meanwhile, Calder, Wind, Lagan, and I'm not sure what the female's name is, but she was one of the metahumans that was saved two seasons ago, excuse me, with through that whole fiasco of people getting new powers. They went on an expedition to find Arion's crown in the ruins of Atlantis, and apparently they've been gone for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Calder has a beard that's coming in. Wind has a beard that was coming in. Not too much really happened with them other than fighting a giant crab, and eventually they did find the crown. So we found out that, spoilers, everybody, spoilers. Arion is actually a clone that Darkseid created. And Arthur's brother, Ocean Master, he had his mind and memories manipulated by Simon. And all of this was so that Vandal Savage could get the lost crown that Calder and his team are actually on their mission to find. And his plan did not go the way he wanted it to because the Lords of Order, I was about to say chaos, the Lords of Order basically prevented that from happening. The clone basically disintegrated as soon as he put the crown on. And after that, the people of Atlantis saw that this guy was their false king. They can't go by the prophecy, so they named Mira the new head king of Atlantis. And I'm saying head king because that's exactly what they said. They didn't say queen. They said she's the head king of Atlantis now. And Dr. Fate visited Vandal to basically say, whatever plan you were cooking up, it's not going to work. And he seemed very upset. I don't know what Vandal's overall plan could be. It might have something to do with Darkseid, as Quincy was saying. I'm not sure. But things pretty much tied up in a bow at by the end of this episode. Megan was in Atlantis. She helped wipe all of Simon's mind mojo off of Ocean Master's head. He was cleared of all charges for his crimes because he was manipulated by the light, but also his memories were altered. So I don't believe anything was left unanswered aside from the glimpses of Connor we keep seeing. Now here's something that we did capture. The bus, when Clarion merged with the bus and he would hop from different time periods to other time periods, it was a portal. Superboy looked in the air and saw that bus go from one portal into the next. So I think Superboy is stuck somewhere inside space and time, but we haven't figured out how exactly he got there yet. Anybody else want to jump in? Any thoughts?
I was going to ask who was wearing Fate's helmet, because they're still doing that whole every couple of weeks they trade off. Right?
It looked like Zatanna.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, what did Darkseid or did Savage create the clone?
It looked like Savage. Did I say Darkseid?
Yeah, I was curious. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I just wanted to. I was like, I missed something there.
Nope, I'm sorry. Vandal Savage.
And next week's title should be T. It should begin with T, not E.
Okay. Shoot.
So we're kneeling to somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Invitation to Kneel is a dope name, period. I love that. That's just something dope. Invitation to Kneel. That's some Ric Flair-ish. Just I love that.
I'm the crocodile shoe wearing.
What? Jet flying, wheeling, dealing, fist stealing. What? Love that man.
He's an icon, man. That's for damn sure.
You get shot down here saying you hate Ric Flair, North Carolina. That's fighting words.
That is truth. That is truth. That is so true. Oh man.
I read a couple theories about Superboy, and a lot of people think that he's stuck in the Phantom Zone. Somehow he got stuck in there, and then since it's extra dimensional, it would make sense that the bus could pass through it, and he would also be outside of time and space because time doesn't pass in the Phantom Zone.
And so the last time we saw him was when he went under the Mars lava, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
With the kryptonite.
Yeah.
And with Phantom Girl, whatever her power set is,
that's true.
Matthew on the page suggested that she pulled them through to save them, and I'm just remembering now. He said that meant to look up her abilities. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Interdimensional travel. So, I mean, so
she could have ported him someplace else.
She could have saved them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She needs to wake up too. Like, she's been asleep for the last 4 episodes. She got to wake up.
Have we got any more information about the saga of Stinky Beast Boy?
No, they didn't show him this episode.
No, okay.
There's nothing else there. He needs to take a shower and go to rehab. That's really it.
Be sitting up in there with Will.
Oh, man.
No, we'll get to that later. That's just a 5-minute clip. Hang out, people. We'll talk about it. Hey, Rob, Picard, man. What's going on out there?
All right. So, what is this? Episode 5 now, I think?
I think it is 5.
Can't remember. So the crew are trying to infiltrate a glitz and glamour party full of it's got like NASA people in it and Hollywood and everything like that. And they had 2-step security that they had to switch, and they infiltrated the Dr. Girardi was the one who got in there. She got captured on purpose so she could slip into the computer system and alter everything. Come to find out, with having been assimilated in the last episode, she isn't actually taken over by the Queen. The Queen Borg put her personality inside of Girardi's brain. So they're kind of co-opting the same body. I'm not exactly sure if she's going to try to take over the past. Probably not, the Borg Queen. But the the dynamics between the two of them is pretty funny because the Dr. Girardi is very mousy and reserved, whereas the Borg Queen is just the epitome of confidence.
Yeah.
And putting the two of them together and mixing their personalities together, you get a lot of pretty funny stuff going on. And if you haven't seen Dr. Girardi in that red dress, you should look that up because she looks really good in it.
Google search.
Yep. So the entire premise of this whole thing is to try to keep an eye on Picard's ancestor, Renee Picard, and try to convince her that the space flight that she has to go on is necessary, that the fear that she's feeling is something that everybody feels when they go on something like that. It's not something to be afraid of. And he was able to have that pep talk with her and kind of undo all the work that Q has been trying to weasel into her head. We got to see Adam Soong, the far ancestor of the creator of Data, the geneticist, get involved physically this time, not just by alerting security to Picard because the doctor has a lot of money. He managed to buy himself into the board and alert security, but also run down Picard with his car. So little does the Soong know that Picard is not human at this point. He's actually a golem. His human body died in the last season. He's replaced with a highly advanced robot, which I'll go into later. Something happens a little bit later, which kind of confuses me about that whole thing. Let's see. We don't see Q in this one, but we do see that. Oh no, where am I now? Okay, well, actually, we'll just go into the crew. They find Picard knocked out after he got hit by the car, and they take him back to the doctor that the Captain Rios was hanging out with, and she tries to wake him back up with a defibrillator, and it actually just blows up the defibrillator because again he's a robot. But that and a couple other things kind of make me wonder if I've missed something by watching, and I need to go back and see. The first thing would be that his body, I don't remember them ever saying that it was supposed to be indistinguishable from a human body. He's supposed to. He's not like Data. He doesn't have a super strength or anything like that.
Yeah,
and he'll live a normal lifespan. Like he'll die eventually, but all of their medical scanners, they're saying he's got a heart rate, he's got blood pressure, he has brain activity like a normal thing, and I'm very confused. I'm guessing that it was so advanced that it in our day and age it can't be deciphered between. But okay. I don't know. And then the other thing is that Dr. Girardi made it sound like she intended to be assimilated and have control of the Borg Queen in her own mind. And I don't remember her saying that at all. And even in the last episode, the Borg Queen assimilated her without her knowledge. So I don't understand how she thinks it was planned if she didn't even know she was going to do that after she shot the Borg Queen in the face with a shotgun.
that still makes me laugh.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm starting to see some opening plot threads. This is also another show that I'm trying to understand where it's kind of going. They kind of, I think the Renee Picard thing might be a red herring. It's not really what is going to cause the future to become a dystopian nightmare, but something else is, and they're not really leading onto it. And we only have a few episodes left.
Eesh.
And they started out pretty strong with a lot of Deep Space Nine references. They mentioned Cisco. They had basically all the skulls that Picard had were all characters from Deep Space Nine. And this, I don't know if you guys remember the episode when Cisco went back in time during the Bell riots.
Yes.
That was the same year that they are now, just in a different city.
Okay.
Cisco was in San Francisco. They're in LA right now. So there's a lot of I'm honestly surprised there isn't more of that happening. Yeah, more crossing over between the two storylines.
Shit.
Yeah, but we'll see. I'll continue
Well,
to watch it, but yeah, it's starting to fray. The storylines are starting to fray a little bit on my end, unless I'm just not paying attention. I'm missing stuff.
It could be a combination of both, man. I mean, I'm sure you watch intently. I know you do, but
Oh yeah, I like to be my Star Trek.
It could be a little plot hole action that'll be filled in later. All right, I want to let's get this out
real
of the way.
quick.
Yeah,
I googled Dr. Girardi. I did. That's the girl from Scott Pilgrim. That was the drummer. Wow.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That was the drummer Kim
from the Sex Bombs.
Yeah, the Sex Bomb. I was like, oh wow, look at her.
All right. I got to Google this real quick. I'm sorry.
While you're doing that, they also announced, since season 3 of Picard is already wrapped, that the remaining main crew members of the Next Generation are going to show up. So LeVar Burton and Gates McFadden and Michael Dorn, they're all going to also appear, assumingly as their characters, Dr. Crusher, Worf, and Geordi, respectively.
That's cool.
Oh, there we go. That makes perfect sense now. Interesting. Very interesting.
I knew she looked familiar, but thanks for bringing that up. Now I remember. That is the drummer from.
Yeah, she had a crush on Scott.
Mm-hmm. Always scowling behind him and everything.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Goodbye, Google. All right. Gotta go away. Oh man. Let me touch on this real quick. All right. Referencing back to our topic, one of our topics last week, Will Smith. And we're not going to talk about the slap. We're going to talk about repercussions. I'm going to give it a few minutes of a little bit of press. He's been suspended, or what was it, banned from the Oscars for 10 years. It's not a big deal to me. I don't think that any movie he's going to do between now and 2032 is going to, my opinion, not be worthy of an Oscar. The man's damaged. He's got a lot of work to do. I don't think he's going to be in front of a camera for a while. And who was it? Not Amazon. Netflix and some other production companies pretty much halted any plans with him in the near future. Does it hurt my feelings? No. He's a human. He made a mistake. He needs to pay for it. He's on a grander scale. He needs to just pay for it. Opinions real quick. Anybody on Will Smith being banned from the Oscars for 10 years?
Well, it's he's banned from attending, right? But he can still win an award.
He can still win.
Yeah, I just don't think he'll win one. I think this is it. I think this year was it.
I'm just happy he got to keep the one he won. That's all I really cared about. He does need, like we said, like I said last week, I think there's more going on. Will, he needs to heal. He does a lot. Mental health is real, and he comes from a community like most of us that dealing with mental health doesn't exist.
Exactly.
And he is frowned upon.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a lot to deal with. He needs that time. Does he need to be punished? Yeah, but he also needs that time to heal. And
he's held cool with the higher standard.
He did it very publicly, so he does need to be punished. There needs to be some kind of repercussions. He keeps his award. I'm good. If he gets time to chill out, I don't know if any of his movies will not be award worthy. I just don't see him making any movies right now. I think right now he's damaged goods, and nobody wants to take that risk.
Yeah,
but like I said, as long as he kept his award, I'm good, and he can deal with the punishment. He'll be all right. And by the time he'll be 60 something by the time he gets out. I'm not out, but gets to show back up. He'll get embraced. He'll get the big ovation, and hey, I'm back.
It's one award ceremony. I mean, granted, it's the pinnacle of award ceremonies. I want to go back and say he may put out some good movies between now and 10 years from now. I'm not going to slam him on that. I think that right now he's at a peak. He's in that absolute peak of his career where he's old enough. It's the old saying, old enough to know better, but young enough to still do it.
Right.
And that's exactly where he is.
I agree with that.
I wish him the best. I agree. He needs help. He needs a lot of help. Just like Mike said, we're from the neighborhoods and the generations and the
Ooh, you
denial.
said it right with generations. Ooh, yes,
Yeah.
Lord.
It's just mental health was something that we never talked about. And the older and wiser that I get, and the more that the world's evolving, it's a lot of things involved. Mental health is important.
I don't think the punishment was actually that bad. Like, I was concerned about him keeping the award. Like, I don't think they should have took that from him.
He earned it before he slapped him. It was already in the envelope before he slapped him.
Well, there was talk about them doing that. Like, I didn't want them to do that.
No.
His thing, like, he got punished, and like, to me, it's just like, just move on. Like, he doesn't have a history of this, and like, I don't know what's going on with them, but let them work it out. This isn't the end of his career. Like, there are people that have done worse and have come back. Like, he'll be fine. Just need time.
Yeah, he needs to heal. That's very true. Just needs to heal. All right, Tosh, you good?
Yep, I'm good.
All right, awesome. Get that soapbox out of there. Put the cat in it. I'm playing. I'm messing with you. All right. She's in her
little tower right now.
Hey,
Sleep.
Hey, y'all and cats, man. Who got to read X-Men Red 1? I just flipped through it earlier today.
I read it. I read it for tonight. It was
Did
pretty
we
good.
see Apache? Was that big old Apache slapping people around?
That was John Proudstar. That was Warpath's older brother.
Okay.
There's a backstory with him. He's like one of the only X-Men to die and stay dead for like 30 years. Way back in 1975, X-Men was almost about to be canceled. They were actually showing in the X-Men early books, they were just reprinting early issues of X-Men or just random stories. They didn't even have X-Men in it, just had the banner. And then around 1975, Chris Claremont came out and pretty much made the current X-Men team that we know. He added Storm, he added Wolverine, he added Colossus, Kitty Pryde. That was all Chris Claremont in that one giant-sized X-Men. And Thunderbird was his name. He was on that team. Thunderbird was that name. And,
I'm sorry, pause. Apache was the DC character.
Apache Chief.
Apache Chief. That he grew like big, super large.
Yes, and super friends.
All right, continue.
Yeah, that's what that was. So, and now that they're on Krakoa, and he died, was ironically, he died fighting Krakoa. That was the whole thing about Giant Size X-Men. Krakoa had a team of X-Men hostage, and Professor X sent a team to go get him, and he was on that team. And he died fighting Krakoa, but now they're on Krakoa. They used the resurrection protocols, and they brought him back. And apparently he has a big anger with Cyclops, so I don't know what that's about. I guess he might blame him for letting him die for so long, but
he's down with everybody else.
I loved it. I like the name because they're on Mars. It makes sense. The red planet. Mars is the red planet, right? I'm thinking that's what they're going with that.
Yeah.
And I like that angle with Proudstar coming in and talking junk. I really like that. I didn't understand how Gabriel Summers, they kind of downplayed his powers. Because remember, this guy flew from Earth to the Shi'ar Empire. He flew. He didn't have a plane. This dude took off and flew and took it off. Took over the whole empire. But he gets knocked out by a table. I didn't see that coming up. But
I laughed so hard watching him get hit.
He got hit with a table, and that took him out. This guy went toe-to-toe with Black Bolt and beat Gladiator. Come on. How does this work? But
he took a punch to the face, too. Then he got hit with a table.
Yeah, but again, you don't fly to the Empire. You don't go knuckle up with Black Bolt and get hit by a table and like, oh, Lord. No. But hey, maybe he's depowered or something. I don't know what's going on with the I'm so far behind the X-Men. It's like I'm further behind that than I am Spider-Man. So I really don't know what's going on with all that.
And I'm personally tired of Polaris. They keep trying to push her in the books, and she's just not sticking.
Mm-hmm.
Polaris, even if she was, what was the ship she was on? That floating space station. I can't remember the name of it.
Sword.
That eventually got taken over by Krakoa.
Mm-hmm.
And they integrated all of Krakoa into it, and it became like a transport vehicle during the big bad. What's his name? Not the Black Knight. The guy. who took over with the Black Sludge, Venom's great granddaddy.
Oh no,
Oh,
no.
Yeah. They keep trying to force her into comics, man. She's not sticking. She's uncooked spaghetti. She ain't sticking to nothing.
And she's got a lot of history, but you're right. She's not one of those characters that I've never heard anybody say, "Give me some Polaris. I want to read what she's doing." I've never heard that.
Nobody cares about Magneto Jr. Nobody.
If it wasn't for Magneto, there would be no reason for her to be talked about.
Not at all. Not at all. I dug it. I flipped through it. I'm gonna read it intently after we're done here because I kind of skimmed through it. But the art looks great.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved watching, the big Native American guy smack people around. He's gigantic. He was looking down on Cable, and Cable's a big cat.
That line there made me holler. That was one of my favorite because he died in a plane crash. And Cable said, he said, "I would never have let my brother train with you and become a soldier." Cable was like, "If you had something to do like catch a plane, I dropped the book." I like, oh Lord. Oh my God. I hollered. I love that scene. Yeah. I'm going to add that book just for the shit talking they doing. They got a sale just for that. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, I love the book. It was, Quince, did you get to it?
No, I didn't finish. I didn't finish it. I was actually reading it before we got on. I'll finish it after we get off. But
oh yeah, we'll fill up the comments on that one. Somebody post something, Mike or Q, post something on there, man. We'll run it up because it was a boss episode. It was a boss episode, boss book, man. It was really good.
That was a good book.
What I've been reading this weekend on the recommendation of Sean was the Shadow War, Dark War, Alpha, Deathstroke is going to war with the League of Assassins. He was framed for killing Roz, and they're trying to figure out who it actually was because whoever shot and killed Roz was wearing like his outfit from like the 80s, and like Slade, when watching the film, was like, "I haven't worn that outfit in years."
Was it his mute son?
No, his son. Well, I don't know how many kids he has right now. He has a son with him right now.
Oh, okay.
Respawn.
Jericho?
No, this kid Respawn. I never heard of him before this week, but Shadow War Alpha and Batman this week were tie-ins with it, and they've been good. Like I'm glad that Sean recommended them. I'll be following that. But that's the major read for me this week.
John Boy Myers did that cover.
Okay.
I love the reason why I love John Boy Myers' artwork. He does a great Deathstroke, and he does some pretty good Bat Family too. That's the reason why it stuck in my head. Mm-hmm. That's why I love the cover.
Was it that issue of Batman that had the pictures you posted of the breakdown of the Omniverse and Multiverse and
Universe was a preview for Flashpoint Beyond. Batman is in. You read 52, right? The weekly series, so you remember the bunker that had all the conspiracy theories, almost like it had Red Lanterns on there, all that stuff, and it looked like the same room, but it was different. So it might be like another one of Rip's bunkers, like one of his chalkboards. Apparently, this is just something he does. But Johns is writing that, and that's coming out this month or next month, and it's about Thomas Wayne, I believe. I don't know what that tie-in the beginning with Batman and those two Joker henchmen it looked like had to do with the story overall.
Dig it.
So looking forward to that also.
The Maestro
is writing it. I'm reading it.
Johns is really good. I really wish he would do one Marvel book. At least give me one before he retire.
He can't. He has to stay away from TV and movies. Just stick to writing books.
Doesn't translate well on the screen.
No, he is fantastic writer. But just stick with that, man. Just stick with that.
Yeah, his Green Lantern run is going to go down in history.
Legendary.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the best.
The Flash, when he brought Barry back after all those years,
Rebirth.
He's good at that, at building those stories, and like you said, like Green Lantern, I'm still reading it, but it'll never go back to where it was when he was writing. Not that I can see.
It's too many Batman books in DC right now. Just my opinion. I'm gonna get back on it. Staying on the X-Men front, Mike had a great question. If you could see an X-Men team debut in the MCU, there have been tons of X-Men teams. Who would it be? Tosh, I know that you're the novice at this. That's why I want to go at you
I'm
first.
like,
Duh.
what X-Men, what groups of X-Men teams have there been? Like, I don't know.
Too many to list. I didn't mean to call it. I did. I just wanted to hear you say something.
I think I've heard at some point Spider-Man was part of the X-Men.
No, we'll talk after the show.
Or is that reverse?
No. No.
Cut that out, Lou. Cut it out.
That's going at the very front. That's going at the very front, and you know I'm not playing. All right, I'll take the first one. I don't mind. The OG team, the team that I would love to see, definitely has Cyclops. It has the OG Jean Grey. I like Angel, the original Angel.
Feather Wings.
Yeah, the Feather Wings. Beast. I don't know if I want Beast with blue hair or if I want Beast with big feet. You know what I mean?
I do.
I don't know which one I want. And an Iceman, the OG team. That's the one I would love to see because of the fact that there's so much more to expand on. And that was the cover that I saw. And of course, Xavier. That's the team that I would love to see. I mean, I don't want nothing against Wolverine. He's a great comic character. But I think that team itself epitomizes what X-Men is to me when I think about them. I think about the blue, the bobsled uniforms that they used to wear all the time.
Yep.
When I think of X-Men, I think of the bobsled uniforms. That's just me.
That was going to be my exact same team too.
Really,
it makes sense because they still don't know how they're going to integrate, but a lot of people are thinking that the X-Men have just always been there. So it would be best to introduce the ones who could blend in with society first, and then move on from there. But that's just what I was thinking. The same exact team, the original,
the OG. Quincy, I know you love the X-Men.
Well, yeah, of course. Like when I posted that and Mike had commented, saving it for today. I was thinking about this. I like Colossus. That's all. He's my favorite guy. Colossus, Storm. I'm going Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean. And I like Iceman. And if we're doing 6, then he would be the 6th guy. But that's who I would bring in just for. I would like to see them on screen. Those power sets on the screen. It'd be something different, even though we've seen Colossus already done very well in Deadpool. But that's who I would want to see.
All right, Mike, our resident X-Men expert.
Yeah, because Jay's not here tonight or Miles, so Terrence isn't here. So, the one I keep saying everybody want the most is the blue and the gold team from the '90s book, and I can respect that because you got to think that's the number one selling comic of all time. That book sold millions of. I have 10 copies myself, but I don't want that team, and I don't want Wolverine. I think we need to give Wolverine a long break, a long break, because as soon as he comes, it's going to change the whole thing. They're going to want to see it. This gird and despite I don't need to see the claws and all that drama. So I picked. I don't know how many we're going with. I could only.
How many Avengers were there? How many was on that team?
6, right?
6. Go 6.
Go 6. Okay. If we go 6, I'm going to have to. Because I had to write it down. I got to go with Cyclops. You got to have Cyclops. I need Cyclops established. I need him to be a badass. I need people to understand he's not crying in the corner saying, Jean. I need you to see how dope Cyclops can really be. I do need Jean Grey to be there because I want them to be that power couple like Mr. Fantastic. I want them to be there. I don't want no Wolverine throuple couple thing. I don't want just them two. I want Storm there. Again, I want Quincy. I want Colossus there because you need a strong guy. I want Rogue there because you got you got Captain Marvel like that. You need to have that for Captain Marvel. That's got to happen. People are looking for that. That's one of the fights everybody's looking for. And my number 6 is rotating between 3 people. It's between Bishop, Nightcrawler, and Kitty Pryde. I can go in any of those. Bishop doesn't have to be time traveling. He can already be there. It can already be established. Kitty Pryde is one of my favorite X-Men. She's like one of my top 3 X-Men.
I agree.
And Nightcrawler for the same reason. You know, his combat skills are up there. I could see him interacting with Spider-Man. I could see a lot of things going on with that. But that would be my team.
I like that.
And I like the idea that most people don't want Wolverine. I think the MCU would do it best to leave him separate from the X-Men. Let them stand on their own leg. Have Wolverine be like a solo person, at least for the first few movies. You know,
I don't need to see him at all because anything he does is going to take away from the team. Anything he's going to do is take away. He's going to be the star. As soon as he comes on the screen, he's going to be the star, whether he's with them or not. Why isn't he in the movie? That's all you're going to hear. Just leave him away.
You can introduce him as a villain.
Yeah, but I think this would help to your point, Mike. I mean, I know Scott has the upper hand on Logan in comics now. I think one of the things that would put him over would be for him to put Logan down on the big screen in some way, establish himself. You could. Plus, I'm thinking about interactions with other teams. I would like to see Wolverine and Hulk. I would like to see Iceman and Storm. I'm thinking about
I didn't even think about Iceman.
Excuse me. Fantastic Four, Torch and Iceman. I think about interactions with other teams, but to me, it would be a wasted opportunity. What is that story? Was it Schism? I don't know how to say that. Yeah, Schism. When he had that's where they had the confrontation. You know, kind of establishing Cyclops as the lead guy. You know.
Well, it was a dispute. They didn't. Yeah. Wolverine and Cyclops had a disagreement on how they wanted to do the team. Cyclops wanted to train everybody to be soldiers, and Wolverine was like, "No, let's do the school thing," which is kind of weird. But they had a big fight between those.
The Jean Grey School.
The Jean. That's what they named it.
Yeah.
The Jean Grey School. First, that disrespected me. Period. Because it was called Wolverine and the X-Men. That comic. To this day, I've never read one issue. I didn't read I didn't watch the cartoon because of the title. Wolverine and the X-Men was disrespectful as hell to me. I know. Hell no.
That was overstepping that line, just a habitual line stepper.
Man. And then him naming the school after Jean Grey, not Cyclops. Oh, come on, man. Stop it. That had me upset for a long time.
What intrigues me about you and QP's choice, and I love it. I would, now that you mentioned it, I'd love to see Aurora. I'd love to see her power set done properly on the screen. With I loved her in some of the X-Men movies, kind of tailed off at the end. Aurora would be good. I think Rogue is definitely a must, considering the state of the MCU right now with the pushing of Captain Marvel. Me personally, give me stinky cheese all day long. And I think Bishop. Are we talking jerry curl Bishop or bald head Bishop? I don't know which one.
It could be in between Bishop, like he is now, with just a little short on top. I want the M on the face and everything. Like I said, we don't have to go the whole time traveling thing. They don't have to go deep into it. But I
like Bishop.
I want Bishop on the team. I definitely want him there.
He's one of my favorite X-Men of all time. Honestly.
Yes, I love
for
Bishop.
Many reasons. He's way OP. The fact that a man can absorb any kind of energy and shoot it back at you, but he
imagine
can die
that on screen. That would look so
amazing. You can stab him with a stick and kill him, though. That was the whole funny thing, is that he was allergic to wood. Not really, but he could die from a sharp implement being stuck into him. And Nightcrawler would be amazing. I love the way they handled him in the X movies because I love the whole poof thing. That was great. But
Was
that's
it X-Men 2 when he went off? Was it?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Was it 2 or 3? Was it 2?
it was 2.
Yeah,
was
in the White
the,
House.
Yeah,
With the white. Yes, that was one of the best things. I really like that.
I
They
think
could do a lot with him.
And Kitty Pryde alone, I mean, she's one of my favorite. I think that her power set alone just makes her completely insane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember about a year or so ago, I read a book where she phased a whole building that was falling, and phased the whole building to where it didn't crush anything around it. It just absorbed. I was like, wow, this is insane.
And Kitty Pryde's a tough fighter too. Remember, it was Shadowcat and Wolverine. She was like Wolverine's original sidekick. She learned to fight from him back in the day. Kitty Pryde is no chump.
And the cool thing is that she had a relationship with Peter Quill in the books too.
Peter Quill, Pete Wisdom, Colossus Peter. Storm made a joke. Storm made a joke. What is with you and a guy's named Peter? Storm made that joke. What is going on with you?
You take Spider-Man at all?
I don't.
Oh,
it's possible, but I don't. I wouldn't doubt it.
Peter attracted a lot of women, man. Yeah, he even made out with Silk with I can't remember Moon.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember.
Peter Quill did?
No, Peter Parker did.
Weren't they attracted because of the spider? Was it the same spider?
It was the pheromones that they were kicking off to each other. Yeah. It was kind of weird, but it all happened in like 3 panels. It's kind of strange. But X-Men teams, man, everybody had great lists. I mean, I went back to the original cover because I have a painting that I got, and it's up in my son's room of that original cover. And that's one of the reasons why I look at that team all the time, because I look at it like, these guys were great. This is way before Beast turned blue, and she was still Marvel Girl. Jean Grey was still Marvel Girl, so she was just still kind of, she had the powers, but she wasn't really, in my opinion, over corrupted as a character, because it just kept trying to put stuff on her as a character, and all of a sudden she became like the Phoenix, and before she became the Phoenix, she was like Xavier Jr.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's something else.
She was
no Dark Phoenix. Leave that alone. You tried that twice. It didn't work either story. Just leave it alone.
It didn't. There's so much story build up to that character that it would take entirely too long for it to happen.
Right. You're doing it right now with Scarlet Witch. Let her have the little dark run. Leave. Let's not do it again.
I think it'd be a great time for the X-Men to drop in.
But with the X-Men, like, it's going to lead to Shi'ar exposure and them coming, because they have the relationship with them. Like, they would need some kind of catalyst for them to make that connection. Like, I as much as I agree with you, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they run past that Dark Phoenix story again.
Give it 10 years. Well, maybe 8. And they can touch on it in 8 years.
What other storylines are the Shi'ar involved in? Because we got Secret Wars coming on. Were they in there?
No.
The Shi'ar played a big role in the trial of Jean Grey.
It's only X-Men stuff mostly with the Shi'ar.
Yeah.
I mean, Professor X was dating the one of the Shi'ar for a while. Lilander, I think her name was.
Yeah, the fin head chick.
Right. The whole race has the feather head things going on.
Yeah.
I can't think, besides War of the Kings, right off the top of my head, I couldn't think of a big Shi'ar storyline,
Operation Galactic Storm. But they tend to be in X-Men books.
They tend to be in X-Men a lot.
Yeah, Skrulls are Fantastic Four, and Kree Skrulls are Avengers. Like, but that seems to be like the breakdown. Like, I didn't think about it till now. Like, that would complete like that big 3 of alien races for Marvel, and I doubt that they'll miss that opportunity.
Well, I hope they don't. I mean, if give me a good story. That's all it's going to take.
I have no idea how you guys keep all that straight. I really don't. I feel like I would confuse one X-Men story with a different X-Men story.
It's
one Batman one with another Batman one.
It's comparable to to anime. I was going to say to your anime, but it's not your anime. It's comparable to anime. You stick with all the stories and the characters. It's everybody's thing. I mean,
and
you educate us, and we educated you.
But they repeat it over the years. They'll give you a recap when a new story comes up. I've been reading comics since I was 12.
Oh, is that it?
there's always a flashback to when something happened, and okay, this happened on issue number at the bottom of the panel
with a little star on it.
Yeah, it's an issue. See this here, so they'll remind you of what to go back to read if you need to, but you'll just learn.
Yeah, with anime, it's different characters and different stories, but with you guys, it's the same characters but
Same
several
universe,
different stories. I'm like, how do you keep it straight?
Yeah, Batman's been between ages of 35 to 45 for the last 60 plus years. So, I mean, that's what it is. Characters don't get old. I mean, the writers change and characters evolve or devolve in some situations. But
they are going to do Shi'ar because you can't miss an opportunity for an Imperial Guard. So, like, that has to happen.
Man, I can see Shi'ar coming. I don't have a problem with them doing that. And if they have to do Dark Phoenix, just take their time with it. Don't rush it into one movie.
Well, the only upside is Gladiator's going to show up. That'd be the best part.
What else could they do, though, Mike? What story, like, would bring the people in besides Dark Phoenix? Like, something they could build to.
They could to bring the Shi'ar, or just in general?
No, just a story to build like 3 X-Men movies on.
They could do Inferno when they dealt with the demons. They could do that. They could do Inferno. They could do the whole Outback saga where the X-Men were living in the Outback and they had Gateway sending them out to different locations to take care of that.
I love
Can you do Inferno though with a clone Jean Grey, like right at the beginning of their existence in the MCU?
I mean, they can. There's a lot of demons. They can finally give everybody Mephisto. Hell,
make everybody shut up about that.
Yeah, they could do that. Here's Mephisto for y'all, and he's the one doing that.
I'm Mephisto, and then dip out.
Oh, that could be how they twisted. Twisted. They didn't realize those shoes out there. They could be. I mean, there's things they can do other than Dark Phoenix. X-Men been around for a long time. I can't think of everyone off the top of my head, but they could do something to pull the cast in.
If they're showing up, I think a registration story with Sentinels maybe would be easier off the bat. Like bunch of robots to smash, no one to really kill or anything.
That would be a nice issue. Just some that. Yeah, that's an issue because I speak issues, but yeah, that could be nice. Just a regular training book. Hell, just a regular. This is the school. We're training these people for this. They can just go into that. If they did Magneto right, they can have an old Magneto kicking behind.
I actually didn't. I liked First Class. I think First Class is one of the better comic book movies, and I like that they were working with the government and they were kept secret. And I like that Magneto was with them in the beginning. Like, would you start it off with something similar to that?
I think the whole Magneto, I don't necessarily he needs to be with a team, but I wouldn't mind a movie with him and Xavier together so you can kind of see their split. That would be enough for me for their split, because you kind of want to establish that groundwork there, because Magneto isn't technically a bad guy. It's just how he decides to go about what he wants to get done. Professor X is just nicer with it, but Magneto just, we're not going to do all this. Just tear his head off. But
Magneto's like, do you install light bulbs? No, I don't install light bulbs.
Magneto's
nobody else going to get the joke.
Nah,
I remember it.
Sorry, folks. That was an inside joke. You'll laugh at it if you get in the chat. It's pretty funny.
Nah. I get what you're saying with Magneto, as much as I give you a hard time about it, because that's it's similarities between him and Sinestro, like where the Lanterns use order and justice and law. Like, he's like, you guys are going to do the right thing, and I'm going to force it out of you with fear. Like, that was just his different method of upholding the law. And he actually got it done at one point when the Lanterns were gone. So, like, I dig what you're saying with Magneto.
This isn't even the first time with Krakoa that the X-Men have had their own, like, they had Utopia. Magneto had Genosha. This isn't the first time.
Yeah, I was about to say Genosha, yeah.
And this isn't the first time they've done it. And you're talking about alien races. Don't forget the Brood has a lot to do with the X-Men. They can do the Brood story.
I forgot about that. The rip-off alien xenomorphs.
Yeah,
That's what
pretty
they
much.
are.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they
you're right about
could do
that.
that. They could
That'd
and
be
that could
good.
bring in the Shi'ar, just a brood. Maybe the Shi'ar are hunting a brood down, and
There you
they're
go.
coming to Earth.
There you
The
go.
Brood opens up a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because they had a lot of Guardians tie-ins too. The Brood did they? No, that was a different race of bugs. That was what was his name? Had the nega bands. I can't remember his name. Saved my life right now. The green bug.
Apocalypse, Annihilation.
Annihilus. Yeah.
Okay. The Annihilation Wave. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, hell. You mean great teams? I love the breakdown, Mike. You are an amazing X-Men resource, man. You know that.
Hey, appreciate it. X-Men, the comic book saved my life.
It's true.
I mean that seriously. Comics saved my life, and X-Men was one of the first books I fell in love with.
Man, on that, I think we're going to wrap it up. Anybody else? A little freestyle moment. Anybody got anything they want to fly out there, put out in the universe?
I do. I was talking with the wife, and we got into a little dispute. So we were talking about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, and we was talking about Jada Pinkett's career. Who do you think had the better career, Jada Pinkett or Nia Long? And I'm asking you guys and people listening. I said Nia Long.
I say Nia Long.
She said Jada Pinkett. Like, I don't know why, but we got into
Is this 89 and 90?
The career, like the primes, I guess, TV show to when they slowed down or whatever. I said Nia Long. And
I'm gonna have to go with Jada.
I was gonna put a post up later, tomorrow morning actually, but
yeah,
like we like it's to me it's close. It's not even like one is significantly.
Nia Long did Love Jones, right? Did she do Love Jones?
Yes, she did Love Jones, and I love Love Jones, and that's I'm being biased because that's one of my favorite movies of all time. But
Jada also had Poetic Justice.
That wasn't her.
Yeah. That was her in the movie.
That was
her in
that scene. You thinking about Jason Lyric?
You think Jason Lyric?
Jason Lyric.
Jason Lyric.
Yeah, and she did. That was to me. That's I can't think of another good movie she's done.
No, Nia Long was also in
Shame.
And
Best Man.
Jada was in Shame.
Yeah, Jada was in Shame.
Mm-hmm. And that wasn't a good movie, but we like it.
We like it, right? Classic. It was a cult classic. It was a hood classic.
It was a good movie, but it was a hood classic. Yeah, put that on. I watched that.
But Jada just ain't even the same Jada. She don't even look like the same person.
Jada got a different world the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah,
and she got Jason's Lyric. And I can't think of nothing. And I may be forgetting something or overlooking, but like that's what I ask you guys.
There's no Jada movie. I would just say, let's go watch Jada. Let's turn the movie on.
There's no Nia Long movie. I would say, just go ahead and watch Nia Long.
Love Jones.
I know Love Jones.
Everybody loves Love Jones. You got to watch it once a year. It's mandatory.
Hell. But yeah, but you're right. There's no one particular one, but there's a lot of movies with Nia Long in it that I like to watch. So, like Friday, I like to watch Friday. Like Big Mama's House, the first one.
Oh wow!
I never watched any of those.
The first one is the only one you need to watch. The rest of them,
trash.
Just don't even. Yeah,
the other was trash.
At least seen Best Man, right?
She was in The Best Man.
Yeah, Best Man.
Oh wow!
She was in both of them. Yeah, she was in both of them. Yeah,
I forget about that.
She's in there.
And she was a better girlfriend to Will on Fresh Prince than Jada is a wife to him in real life.
Do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. There's some great writers, man.
She wins.
Yeah,
I pulled up a bunch of X-Men storylines too. Wow.
Yeah, X-Mans.
Yeah.
Just
Mutant Massacre would be nice. That'd be nice when we get them started. We got to get them started. You know what that is?
No.
Say that again.
The Mutant Massacre.
No, man.
That was, I want to say it was Sinister. I can't remember who the big bad was, but basically they just went around killing mutants. That was all they were doing. It was Apocalypse. That's how Angel lost his wings. They had him pinned to the wall, and they cut his. That's what all that cut his wings off. That was a lot of stuff going on with that one.
That's Sinister, Sinister henchman or Apocalypse henchman?
I want to say Apocalypse. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Apocalypse.
That was during Inferno, though, right?
No.
Didn't he become one of Apocalypse writers?
Horseman, yeah, he did.
He was one of the Horsemen for a while.
Didn't that happen? When did he become Archangel? Archangel.
It was around that same time frame, but I think it was a Mutant Massacres when he lost his wings.
Well, I'll trust you. I thought it was during Inferno, but I'll trust you.
It may have been. I mean, we have to go back.
Hold on. Mutant Massacre is the one with all the mutants laid out on the
on the sand.
Yeah, my favorite.
That was Fall of the Mutants. That was Fall of the Mutants on that.
Oh, okay.
It was so many of them. It was so. Yeah. It was. This is all 89, 90s X-Men. There was a lot of stuff going on with him.
What did you say the name of that was? Not Mutant Massacre. The
Fall of the Mutants.
All right, hold on. Let's see if that's the one.
Look at this, Dr. Google. What's wrong with me?
Hey, while he's googling,
this is my favorite X-Men cover of all time. I love this one.
Piss on you.
This is great.
He loves it.
Yeah, I do love it. Look at this.
They all laid out.
This is art.
That's about when that's when they had X Factor and X-Men, because the original 5 had broke off to be X Factor.
So X Factor was boss, man. They were henchmen. They just went out wiping people out, man.
That's when they weren't even did their own thing, and they were under names. They had like jumpsuits, and they would come out and go solve the problem and put the X-Men uniform on and put the suit back on. Like, hey, but
is that when they were in that ship?
Yeah, I want to say they had the ship. That was shipped like alive or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like the second X Factor team with
Havoc. Yes, that was a good run too. I think that started like issue 72. I remember that was pretty nice.
They always had something. Like the first time I saw that team, they laid the Hulk out, and during one of it's when Banner first merged, like the green, and his personality. He was with the Pantheon, and Havoc took him out kind of hard, actually, but he recovered. But I was like, these damn mutants everywhere, causing trouble.
That's my people. We ain't causing trouble. We just stand.
Well, listen, they dangerous, because I do remember that he stopped the Hulk in his tracks.
Them Summers boys, if they really get to you, them Summers boys can do some damage. I need them to show that the MCU.
I always liked Havoc more than I did Cyclops. I'm not gonna lie.
I did too, and maybe it's the name or just like the visual with his powers. Like, but I prefer
the visual is Havoc. Nice. The visual is nice
because the power is like emitting out of him. It's not like it's not even touching his skin. Like, it's just coming out of him. I gotta find
the only lame point about Havoc is that he could only shoot it from this joint right here. He only had the chest shot. And then when they revamped him and redid his outfit, he ended up with like this. He had like a dinner plate on his chest, and it was weird. Do you remember that when they redid his art, Mike?
When they put the I kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
he ended up in his chest.
Yeah, it was so weird. I didn't like that. I like the black suit. The black suit.
The black suit is the best look
with the little shits on his head.
I did not like that one. I don't know why the X Factor one was just. I don't know.
Oh, with the face mask with the top, the blonde hair,
maybe
the leather
black
jacket
one looked like a bodysuit.
That was the little mini leather jacket phrase that was.
The Avengers had them too.
Yeah, Thor. One of Thor's people.
Hercules had one too. I want to say he had the little brown with the sleeves rolled up.
Hercules,
Black Knight had one.
It wasn't Thor. What was his name?
Thunderstrike. That was my guy.
Thunderstrike had one.
But he had the ponytail joint to go with it too.
He had the sleeves cut off of his too. Everybody had the little black jacket, the little jacket.
He had a chain on the mason, not like the strap like Thor. That was my guy.
Oh man, he had the wallet chain. That was.
Eric Masterson is one of the best Marvel characters written like ever to me. Like he was just great. Like I loved the character and was sad when he died.
Damn it, man.
Love Thunderstrike. Oh man. I can't find that in any comic book app. Like only the first issue. And I can't find none of his runs anywhere. I'm gonna have to go until I can actually. He's dead. He's dead.
Damn.
Dead. His son is something weird. His son was like he had the mace and was when he struck the stick, he would be in his father's body. It was a very poorly written story a couple of years ago.
Jeez.
It was bad, and Rest in peace, Eric Masterson.
Wow, man.
That was
All
my
right.
guy.
All right, people, man. What a great episode. Not gonna lie, a lot of fun, whole lot of fun. So, thank you, Tasha, for the great intro. We really, really appreciate it.
Woo!
And Rob, thank your cat for all of the great entertainment that we've gotten on the back screen. Right? Go ahead and shake that litter box at her. That always attracts a cat right there. But man, from the whole multiverse crew, that one guy, Rob, Comic Book Mike Jones, QP, and Tosh, it's Cosmic Blue and the Multiverse Unlimited podcast crew. Thank you for all you do. And don't forget, be kind to everybody. You have no idea what they're going through. So until next week, we're out. Peace.
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 Is that a floppy
Bye-bye.
disk? Bye.